one, shut the f up for a second. Now, if you would shut the f up for the 50th billionth time, I'm reading Facebook. Anyways, I'm not done.
This is Chanty Binx. She's a Canadian feminist who gained infamy back in 2013 for a video of her shouting at men's rights activists, or MRAs, at the University of Toronto. Her menstrual red hair, glasses, angry demeanor, and derisive dialogue earned her the name Big Red. And as her rant went viral, Chanty quickly turned into a living meme, and a caricature of modern-day feminism. But while most people only know her for that one video, I wanted to find out who exactly is Chanty Binx, what is her backstory, and what has she done after the incident at U of T. So, after doing an inordinate amount of research, I bring you the story of Chanty Binx. The earliest known online activity from Chanty Binx is from back in 2011 on her, this may shock you, Tumblr account called STFU Everything. Her About section reads, "Proud to be everything MRAs hate. Some people think I have an anger problem. I just have zero tolerance for BS." Most of her earliest postings were of typical progressive politics, often sharing videos from the Young Turks, which could be where she learned her debate tactics from.
Yeah, I'm f***ing better than you, okay? Much better than you. You are garbage.
Mommy, he got it wrong, Mommy, he got it wrong.
Oh, so you said that it was a white guy. What happened?
But one topic Chanty seemed to have a particular interest in was abortion. She even took part in a pro-choice rally in 2012 where she held up a paper character she made called Steve, the Sacred Sparkling Sperm. Because if there's one thing that'll change a pro-lifer's mind, it's a giant paper sperm character. I made a vulva costume and a uterus costume. I also made a penis costume, but the guy hadn't put it on yet. I can't imagine why, he looks so comfortable being there. With these creative messaging tactics, it may not come as a shock that Chanty wore a feminist better shirt at the beach. The first notable video of Chanty Binx comes from a Toronto Pride Parade on July 1st, 2012. A pastor by the name of David Lynn was out preaching that day in opposition to the event, a decision which he surely knew would get a reaction, and boy did he get one. Chanty was also attending the Pride Parade that day and wearing a tank top which read, "I don't f*** Republicans." But upon seeing David preaching, she decided to confront him.
You're being disrespectful by showing up and spewing your Jesus shit at a f***ing Pride event. You're insulting our minds by being here, you f***ing asshole.
And you're swearing.
I don't give a f***.
I know you
f***ing swear at you because you're being a f***ing asshole, and you know
And
what?
what did I say to you?
It doesn't matter what you're saying to
I didn't
me.
even say anything to
It's
this
what
girl
you're
when I'm
saying.
insulting
Are you
her.
I'm not
I am, but they have to calm down one by one.
What the
I'm gonna give you guys the
here
mic.
by coming here and spewing your Jesus shit?
Don't tell me what to do with my mic. I'm gonna give one of you the mic if you guys have respect.
I'm not swearing. I'm not swearing. You're a fucking
Get this on tape.
Eventually, however, the police came by and broke up the altercation. But this would not be the last time David Lynn and Chanty Binx would cross paths. On October 20th that same year, David was out preaching yet again during the annual Toronto Zombie Walk. Chanty happened to be in the same area that day, and when David spotted her in the crowd, he invited her over for round 2.
Hey, I know you. How you doing? Here's Chanty Binx, our friend from the Gay Pride. How you doing?
Are you not, like, why don't you just let these people have fun?
Part 2. We are having fun.
While their dialogue this time around wasn't friendly either, it was still more civil than before.
What I think you're saying.
If you don't support it, don't go.
What
you went.
Okay, what I think
to
you're.
tell them that they're sinners. My problem with that was not so much that you had the right, whether or not you had the right, because that's not my job. That's up to the cops to decide. My problem was that it was not right for you to do that. Here's the thing. I'm an activist, and I have opinions, obviously, but I'm not the one that's sitting here preaching the Bible. I'm not the one preaching about the morality of others and things like that. I'm not judging other people's morals.
However, as the conversation continued, Chanty became increasingly flustered, ultimately leading to this outburst from her.
Where in any.
Don't take away the mic microphone and interrupt me like you did in the primary, you motherfucker!
Okay, that's a demon right there. You can't be swaying in front of kids, man.
While these two incidents brought Chanty some attention, they both paled in comparison to what would happen the following year. On April 4th, 2013, the non-profit organization Canadian Association for Equality, or CAFE for short, held an event at the University of Toronto called From Misogyny and Misandry to Intersexual Dialogue. An event described as exploring how sexism against either women or men robs all of us of value and worth. What would have been a calm and peaceful event was aggressively interrupted by a group of left-wing protesters, one of them being Chanty Binx.
Shame on you, appeal allowing misogyny! Shame on you, appeal allowing misogyny! Shame on you, appeal allowing misogyny!
After only a few minutes into the event, one of the protesters pulled the fire alarm. Later on outside, after having shut down Cafe's platform, Chanty prepared her own platform.
So, number one, shut the up for a second. Feminists do not want you to lose custody of your children. The assumption that women are naturally better caregivers is part of patriarchy. The assumption that wives should make babies instead of money is part of patriarchy. The idea of certain people are inherently more valuable than other people because of superficial physical attributes is part of patriarchy. The idea that men should coddle and provide for women and or purchase their affections in romantic context is condescending and damaging and part of patriarchy. Patriarchy. I don't know if you're noticing a theme. Patriarchy, face.
While the attendees were interested in having a conversation with her, Chanty preferred the dialogue remain one-sided.
Can you shut the up for a second too? Shut the up for the 50th billionth time? I'm reading Facebook. Anyways, I'm not done. Feminists do not want you. Shut the up. The men's rights activism, what you claim it's about is not actually what it's about. As the list suggests, if you actually cared about those things, then we should be your biggest ally. We care about your problems a lot. Could you try caring about ours?
One of the event attendees would later try talking to Chanty and the other protesters about men's mental health. And this was her reaction.
Have you checked out CAMH? There are about 4 programs for women and maybe 1 for men. So, try your women. Go down to the grave site.
I'm tired of getting my fucking ass trampled on because I'm the nice girl. I'm docile. I'm compliant. I'm the perfect fucking woman. No, that shit. That noise. I'm not gonna be fucking compliant because, we should be nice. That.
Afterwards, back on Tumblr, Chanty celebrated her involvement in shutting down the event. Went to an MRA event tonight. OMG, lulled and trolled forever. When a user asked her what the event was about, Chanty replied, "I'm not sure of the specifics, but it was held at U of T yesterday, April 4th, and it featured speakers who wrote books like Legalizing Misandry and shit like that." Yes, everyone, Chanty knew next to nothing about the event except for one of the speakers writing a book with a title that made her angry. Got a message from my bro. The video of me in the MRA is the 103rd post or something on Reddit. Neither my brother nor I posted this, so they can't find me, lulling forever. But eventually they did find her, which Chanty seemed to enjoy. Oh noes! The trolls are flooding my inbox with man-thiefy tears. I should get them all a cup for all their cries. One user told her, "I'm gonna go troll some feminists at a meet, cause that's a-okay according to you." To which she replied, "Trolling and lulling forever, MRA. Go ahead, asswipe. We'll be ready and waiting to take your sorry ass down." Another user agreed with Chanty's message, but criticized her for her angry delivery, arguing that it was counterproductive. She replied with, "F you, I do what I want." Well, as you can see, Chanty was destined to make many new friends online. On April 8th, 4 days after the event, TJ Kirk, better known as the Amazing Atheist, featured Chanty in his video Feminism versus Freedom of Speech.
The assumption that women are naturally better caregivers is part of patriarchy.
Oh, I like her. Isn't she pleasant? She seems like the kind of girl that, she'd go to a restaurant and order her sandwich with extra mustard, and then they'd bring it to her and she'd take a bite and she'd throw it across the room and be like, "I told you no mustard on this." I like the part in the video where she leans in, like, at the end where she's like, "Get it, dumbass!"
And on April 16th, the Canadian news network City News would show footage of Chanty Binx during their coverage of the protest.
And so are MRAs, so get the back in your treehouse. Derailing for Dummies, the author, people.
You made a statement, I asked.
Both sides feel harassed and bullied by the other, and neither shows any sign of backing down.
It's kind of surprising to me that we're at this point where somehow that men's rights, issues that face men, and there are issues that face men about custody issues, about suicide rates, about the boys' education crisis, which we touched on the Inside Story earlier, that somehow that's taking away from women or attacking women. I think it's shameful to me that women and men can't talk about their individual problems without it being against somebody else.
Exactly.
Chanty's newfound infamy would lead to her being contacted by film director Cassie J, who wanted to interview her for a documentary on the men's rights movement. Chanty would detail her interactions with Cassie in the following post on her Tumblr account. "So I might be in a documentary, still trying to figure out if it's legit. But yeah, keep you posted. Tomorrow I'm being interviewed for a documentary on MRAs. Pretty cool. Did the interview today for the documentary on the MRM, aka Men's Rights Movement, aka the f***. There's a men's rights movement? For what? No, really, for what?" But yeah, it went well. Made them all laugh. Squee. They should be finished filming in January, and I think she said it'll be in post-production for the next year. Holla! That time I blew the mind of the documentary filmmaker as she interviewed me. Her. MRAs say that if there are women's studies, why aren't there men's studies? Me. That's just called history. His story. Her. Mind blown. Cassie J's documentary would be released in 2016, but we'll get back to that part later. Over the following years, Chanty Binx would be featured in various work. Here are a few of the more notable examples. In 2013, the YouTuber Spectre969 uploaded a dance remix of Chanty's rant, titled Shut the F*** Up, featuring Big Red. Chanty would later comment on this remix in the following Tumblr post. "Wow, well the artist could have made me look more like me rather than Jan Arden with yellow teeth, but whatevs." The cartoonist Anti-Fem Comics, who's best known for this particular strip, would often draw feminists to resemble Chanty Binx. In 2015, the animation duo Flash Skits uploaded a cartoon short called Jessica the Feminazi, in which the title character bore a striking resemblance to Chanty herself.
"I am a strong, independent woman, and you need to give me a job! This list of blog posts will act as my resume!"
Unsurprisingly, Chanty was not a fan of the cartoon. The next year, the animator Saiten created a musical short called Feminists Love Islamists, in which a caricature of Chanty and the Muslim apologist Dawan man sing a song about how compatible their beliefs are.
"I am an Islamist. I am a feminist. You might not think we have very much in common, but we share essentially the same ideology. And Muslims are oppressed just like every woman."
This video would even catch the attention of evolutionary biologist and atheist activist Richard Dawkins. In a now-deleted tweet he wrote, "Obviously doesn't apply to vast majority of feminists, among whom I count myself, but the minority are pernicious." Chanty's face would also be used in in YouTube thumbnails, such as those made by YouTube personalities like Thunderfoot, Sargon of Akkad, Grade A Under A, and Pyrocynical. Additionally, her face would be employed in Triggered Comics, a 4-panel meme where a person would get offended by overanalyzing an image. For better or worse, Chanty had become a living meme, and her image associated with modern-day feminism. On October 7th, 2016, Cassie J's long-awaited documentary on the men's rights movement would finally premiere, under the title, The Red Pill. Throughout the documentary, Cassie speaks with both followers and critics of the movement, and gains a broader understanding of what the movement is all about. As the documentary goes on, video diaries recorded by Cassie show her growing sympathy for MRAs as she hears more from their side.
When I decided to make a film on the men's rights movement, I never anticipated questioning my feminist views.
Near the end of The Red Pill, the infamous U of T incident is covered, followed by Cassie's interview with none other than Chanty Binx.
A lot of MRAs say that feminism doesn't fight for the rights of men. What would you say to that?
Cry me a river. Really, because feminism is a movement about the discrepancies when it comes to women's equality. Because we're still not there yet. You know, so don't even start with that whole, oh, but you don't think about the men's issue. Well, then, you know what? Start your own goddamn movement, which they have, but maybe make it a little more about legitimate issues like custody and alimony and things that you think are unequal, which all stem from patriarchy. They're so quick to call us man-haters or misandrists. Misandry for men? No, like they're so quick to say that when all we're doing is talking about like patriarchal societies and structures that we want to dismantle.
It doesn't appear that Chanty's arguments were all that persuasive though, because at the end of the documentary, Cassie declares,
I don't know where I'm headed, but I know what I left behind. I no longer call myself a feminist.
So there you go. That is the story of Chanty Binx. She's still active on Tumblr to this day, but after the Red Pill movie, nothing all that notable has come out about her. If you'd like me to cover more people like her in a future video, let me know who in the comments section. And lastly, thank you to my generous patrons on Patreon for supporting this video. It's your help that makes producing this content possible. Have a great day.